Ladies and gentlemen, hello, this is alphaanatomy.com, and today we're going to be talking to you about nitrates, dietary nitrates, inorganic nitrates, and the real big boost they could give you in the gym in both terms of athletic performance, muscle building performance, and muscular pumps. So let's begin. There isn't much out there on dietary nitrates in terms of readily available information. There's the information on nitrite, nitric acid, all the chemical pathways. There's a few medical studies, peer-reviewed journals, and there's a handful of supplement companies that have just begun to tap in on nitrates and the massive pump they can elicit in the gym and the results that they can give you. So, do you want to watch this video? Is it going to boil your head with scientific jargon that you're going to need to spend more time looking into to understand? No. We broke it down for you. Yeah, anything that is a bit out there in terms of general knowledge, we break that down for you. Very easy to understand, and we filtered out the bits that you don't really need to know. As with anything, you can delve deeper and deeper into the topic. So we're just giving you the bits that are important to your muscle building goals. So, dietary nitrates, inorganic nitrates, let's discuss them. Your dietary nitrates are naturally occurring in vegetables. Now, the vegetable with the most prevalent count and concentration of dietary nitrates, the undisputed king, is the beetroot. And in terms of inorganic nitrates, these can be produced in petri dishes. The only difference is your dietary nitrates take the form NO2, while your inorganic nitrates take the form NO3. There isn't much physiological difference in the body. So will adding a supplement of nitrates or, eating foods rich in nitrate, is that going to boost your muscular or athletic goals? We need to talk about hemoglobin. This is something in a red blood cell which carries oxygen. So you have deoxygenated hemoglobin and regular hemoglobin, which has been oxygenated. Now, there is a reaction between nitrate and hemoglobin. It's been studied for over a decade. But developments recently have indicated that nitrates may be a latent vasodilatory agent. Now, vasodilatory agent, what is that? Vaso just refers to the vascular system, your veins. And dilatory just refers to dilating, which is expanding and opening them veins. So as you can imagine, this implies that it causes better blood flow. And we all know what that means. Pumped muscle tissue. So we mentioned oxygenated and deoxygenated hemoglobin. And we mention this because when your body's intake of nitrates increases, this increases the likelihood of the interaction between the nitrates and the deoxygenated hemoglobin. This interaction creates a small amount of nitric oxide. Now, what's interesting about the amount of nitric oxide produced in the deoxygenated hemoglobin is that this nitric oxide is protected. A barrier of diffusion exists that prevents the red cell, which is where the hemoglobin is located, from rapidly destroying the endothelial-derived nitric oxide. This barrier also has a potential to allow the nitric oxide generated within the lumen of the blood vessel enough time to diffuse into the smooth muscle layer. There is a growing cascade of evidence to suggest that this red cell can participate in the mechanism of hypoxic vasodilation through a nitric oxide dependent mechanism. Jargon buster, readily available nitric oxide ready to be assimilated into your bloodstream. Simple as. Your nitric oxide is created through a unique pathway. It is protected, and that it is in the smooth muscle layer. So let's compare that to, when you're in the gym and you hear people talking about nitric oxide and nitric pump and such and how they boost the pumps they get in the gym. This is a better form, or one of the best forms I have seen, because the body doesn't destroy it like most other pump supplements. The pathways they employ, they give a very meager production of nitric oxide, which, although can give them, a better pump than usual, I think the nitric oxide produced through the nitrate pathway is far more effective. The short and narrow is, exploiting this biological loophole is going to give you a better yield of nitric oxide into your bloodstream, which is going to allow you to get a better pump in the gym. Now, the ideal way for you to take your nitrate naturally would be a concentrated beet solution. Now, not beetroot fruit juice from the store, in a tropical blend or something. It's got to be a concentrated shot of beet. There's a company called Beetroot. I don't know if in your area that is produced, but in health food shops you can look in there. That contains a good yield of dietary nitrates. And there are products as well, like condensed from Purest Labs. 2 scoops that contains a gram of high yield molecular form dietary nitrates. Sorry, inorganic nitrates they would be, because they are artificially produced, but do the same job role. So you've had an insight, you've heard the jargon, but how does it actually perform in the gym? I've got to say, the pumps are skin tearing. The amount of blood flowing into the muscle forces your engorged veins to the surface. Sickening stuff. Above and beyond that, I've experienced with the products, and as we all know, we can best stimulate myofibular hypertrophy by pump training. As Arnold Schwarzenegger himself described a good pump, it feels like you're coming at the gym, because the feeling of a real dense pump in the muscles, there's not a lot that can beat it. And taking nitrate supplements, it really does produce this effect. And I feel from an anecdotal view, I can say that your vascular system is so pronounced through the skin. In more than any other pump supplement you've taken, vasodilation is just completely obvious. I'd recommend you try it. Who knows how good the results will be for you, but hemoglobin acts very similar in everyone's body. It's not hormone dependent entirely. So I think for the vast majority of people, supplementing with nitrates will be able to give you a better pump. I've got some, let me just shuffle these around. I got some paper here with some studies on it. Some peer-reviewed medical journal studies. Let's look at the conclusions. We conclude that dietary nitrate supplementation in an amount achievable through a diet rich in vegetables, so that means they've not taken an inorganic form of nitrate, or if they have, it's been an amount that would be achievable through a normal diet, results in a lower oxygen demand during submaximal work. This highly surprising effect occurred without an accompanying increase in lactate concentration, indicating that the energy production had become more efficient. There's another little quote here. We conclude that short-term dietary supplementation with inorganic nitrate reduces diastolic blood pressure in healthy young volunteers. Now that could imply that the vasodilation effects have reduced the blood pressure. Another study, same thing again. Nitrates can promote vasodilation. So you have, the reports that we have from the gym. You have the reports of the clinical trials. I say give it a go. This has been Alpha Anatomy talking to you about dietary nitrates. Leave us a comment and a like and all that sort of stuff. And let us know what you want us to talk about next.